Books make you hope. Books make you dream. Books make you laugh. Books make you scream. This is the Books That Make You show, discussing books with authors and experts, unraveling the inner pages of all the books that help make us who we are. Hosted by Desiree Duffy.
It is time for us to gather around the radio, my bibliophiles. Welcome. It's the Books That Make You show, and I am your host, Desiree Duffy. We are talking about books that make you live like a millionaire, even when you're a million short. Living the lifestyle of the wealthy is a fun dream that most of us have. Let's face it, we've all fantasized about winning the lotto, right? And then traveling to fancy resorts and eating gourmet dinners, wearing designer dresses and going to the hottest shows. Well, it just seems so much out of reach for most of us. But what if you could do all of that and more if you only knew the secrets? Are you ready to live like a millionaire, even if you're a million short? Our guest today wrote that exact book. She knows all the tricks and tips to living the big life on little to no budget. How to Live Like a Millionaire When You're a Million Short is a breezy and information-packed guide, and it tells you just how to save thousands of dollars while also enriching your life at the same time. In addition to being an author, Marilyn Anderson is a speaker, an award-winning film and television writer. On TV, she wrote for shows like Murphy Brown, Fame, Sherman Oaks, Friday the 13th, the series, and Carol and Company, starring Carol Burnett. Marilyn is a writer-producer of the family film How to Beat a Bully, and she authored the relationship book, Never Kiss a Frog, A Girl's Guide to Creatures from the Dating Swamp. She was also the dating, flirting, and kissing coach on TV's Extreme Makeover. I think we need to hear some more about that, too, later on. But right now, Marilyn, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Desiree. It's great to be here.
I am so excited that you're going to share this book with us because, let's face it, people like to live lavishly and live that dream. So let's start by you telling us why you wrote this. What has inspired you to share your lavish living secrets with others?
Well, the funny thing is, I'm a writer, and as a writer, sometimes you might make a chunk of money, but other times you could go weeks or months or even years without getting a paycheck. And the interesting thing is that I have lots of friends who have steady jobs and steady paychecks, and they never did anything fun. They didn't go to shows, they didn't travel, they didn't buy things. And here I was not having a job, and I would do all these fabulous things and buy clothes and go on trips and go to theater. And people used to say to me, how does Marilyn live? In fact, people would say the three questions of the universe were, what is the meaning of life? Is there a God? And how does Marilyn live? So I decided it was time to write the book and reveal all my secrets. And that's what I did. I put together the book, and I have different categories in entertainment and travel, shopping and fashion, health and beauty, home decor, and all kinds of things. And I am giving away all my secret tips that enable me to do these things whether or not I'm working and getting a paycheck.
And, the thing is, too, is you say that you can live like a millionaire even if you're a million short, and this is also going to help enrich your life at the same time. I think sometimes we think that we are not deserving of fancy things or nice things, but it really is. It's okay to have fun and live it up from time to time, right?
Absolutely. In fact, I happen to love the theater. As a writer, I have actually written plays as well, but I love going to the theater. And whether it's in New York, where tickets can be like $150 to $200 if you're paying regular prices, or even in your own hometown, wherever that may be, when shows come from Broadway, they can also be really expensive. But what I love to do, I end up going to the theater almost once a week or certainly twice a month, and people would ask me how. And so it's such fun for me to share my tips. And I have people calling me all the time and saying, Marilyn, thank you. I did this. I joined this. I'm going. I'm doing. And I'm having a great time. So it's really about opening up your life to the possibilities and doing it in a way that all of us can really afford.
So let's get to some of those tips. Can you give us your hottest tips for women?
Oh, yeah. Well, one of my very favorite tips for women is, I have long hair. And, of course, as a woman, we tend to need our hair, whether it's cut or colored or made to look beautiful. And if you go to a regular hair salon once every 3 weeks, it really adds up. With me, with my thick, long hair, it could cost me $150 to $200 for a haircut in color. But what I do, Desiree, is I go as a hair model. Now, people say, well, a hair model, Well, the good thing is, as a hair model, you don't have to be young. You don't have to be thin. You don't have to be gorgeous. You just need one thing, hair. And what happens when you're a hair model, you end up going to a lot of fancy salons that normally you would pay these big prices, and you get your hair done either totally free, or sometimes if you're getting color, there might be like a $25 cost for color. But if you go to salonapprentice.com, it'll come up with places in your city that are looking for hair models. And the other way you can find it is if you go on Craigslist and under the category beauty, write the word model. And up will pop a bunch of salons where they're looking for models. And you go and you get a haircut for free, or you get, as I said, color and a style for maybe $25, which is super cheap if you add it up all over the year. So that's one of my favorite tips. Another tip for women is, if you're going to a fancy event like a wedding or even a gala event, you want to get a gown or a dress, and it'll cost you, $200, $400, depending on if you want something. But there's a place called renttherunway.com, and you can wear a $2,000 dress for only $50. And you rent it, you wear it, you send it back, you don't have to clean it, and you look great, and you wear a different dress for every occasion. So there's other places, in addition to Rent the Runway. There's GwinnieB.com and there's Latote.com. And also, if you like handbags, there's places where you can rent bags. So women have a great way now to look great and wear different clothes without spending a lot of money. So there you have great hairdos and great clothes, and you haven't spent hardly anything.
That is such great advice. And here's the thing, too. I have a closet full of little black dresses that I usually wear only maybe 2 or 3 times. You try to mix it up. But let's face it, if you're going to event after event, you want a different dress. You don't want to wear the same dress to the weddings in your family over and over again, right? Or to the same dinner or charity event. So that's a great way to just mix it up.
And here's another tip. I don't know, if you're a millennial or something and you're working, you like to go to parties every week, or you go to work every day, or let's say you're a grandmother and you have a daughter or a granddaughter. What a great gift. A place like Rent the Runway has also an unlimited version where you pay like $100 or $120 a month. And you get an unlimited stream of dresses you can wear and send back. I call it the Netflix of fashion. And wouldn't that be a great gift to give to your daughter or granddaughter? A closet full of clothes without maxing out a credit card or stuffing your closet. And she can wear different clothes to parties or work every single day.
That's a great idea. And what about for the guys? You have some tips for the guys, too.
I do. Well, the funny thing is, I must admit I'm single, and so I go on a lot of internet dates. And what drives me crazy with the men on internet dates is they all say they want to, go on a coffee date. Well, let's face it, the reason they want to go for coffee most of the time is they don't want to pay a lot of money. So they figure, oh, well, if they go on a coffee date, it'll cost $5 for each for a latte or something, $10. But I think, like, if you want to meet somebody for the first time, what could be less romantic than going to a coffee shop where 90% of the people are on their laptops? So what I say is a great way for guys to have terrific dates, but A, have a much better time and a much cuter meet. Go to an art opening. You know, art openings are great places for dates, whether it's a first date or a blind date or even somebody you've been seeing a long time, because you get free wine usually. You also get a lot of times appetizers. Plus, there's culture. It gives you something to talk about, watching all the people. And it's a much more fun experience than sitting at a coffee shop talking. So I think whether a guy, like I say, is on an internet dating site or whether it's somebody you're dating for the second or third time, if you want to be economical but you still want to have a great time, go to an art opening because they're tons of fun. Mm-hmm. And you get all this stuff for free.
Oh, that's great advice. And yeah, like you said, it's a great way to have conversations too. You can literally look at the sculpture or the painting in front of you and talk about it in a myriad of different ways rather than just sitting there staring across from somebody trying to find topics to discuss.
Well, not just that, but if you go by yourself, or let's say you go with a gal pal, you know, you don't even know. You might even meet a millionaire there. I was at an art opening recently, and I was looking at a piece of art and it was really nice. And I said to the clerk, well, how much is this? And she said, well, $350. I said, oh, that's really good. $350. She said, no. It's $350,000. And actually the guy next to me was buying it. So I could have met a millionaire there.
Oh, that's really good advice too. I love that. And another thing that's really enticing in your book, you talk about spending time at resorts in Spain, for example, for free. Is that real?
Hard to believe, but it is real. Absolutely. You can spend 6 nights at a 4-star resort in Spain for free. Now, people say, well, how is this possible? Well, there's this place called Vaughan Town. And what it is they have a lot of Spanish business people who want to practice conversational English. So Vaughan Town has 4 different resorts just outside of Madrid, and they will host English-speaking people to come for 6 nights, and they give them the accommodations and meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and shows and activities, and it's all free because they want you just to be there to speak English to the people who want to practice. And you might say, well, that sounds great, but I don't speak Spanish. Well, the good news is not only do you not have to speak Spanish, you're not allowed to speak Spanish. So it's really fun. I mean, I have a girlfriend actually who took me up on it and went, and she said she couldn't, it was the best vacation she ever had. In fact, a lot of the people who were there went, it was their 15th time because they have such a good time. And you meet people not only from Spain, but you meet the other English-speaking people from England or Ireland or South Africa. Any native English-speaking people are hosted there for free. Now, you have to pay your own way over, but I suggest you can use frequent flyer miles, or you might want to tack this vacation on before or after another trip that you already have planned to Europe.
Yeah. And the thing, too, is if there's travel that is any way involved with your profession, even if it's just a matter of going to a conference or a meeting or seeing something that involves your job in some way, chances are you could also use it as a tax write-off.
Absolutely. And the thing is, it's a way to, get the culture of this country too, and just have a grand time. If you like meeting new people, it's just a great vacation. And there's other kinds of vacations, whether they be in the U.S. or other places, that are also can be free. There's a lot of farm vacations where you ends up helping them part of the time and then vacationing part of the time. Or I have a couple friends who went on a honeymoon Israel, which is an opportunity for people, if one of them is Jewish and one is not. This group, Honeymoon Israel, hosts couples, and they don't have to have just been married. They could be married a long time, but if they're interfaith couples, they get hosted to go on a trip to Israel. Also, for younger people, there's something called Birthright Israel, where they bring over people who are in college or high school to spend a week or 10 days in Israel, and it's all paid for.
Can you give us more? Give us more tips for spending less, and I know we want people to read the book, but what else juicy little nuggets can you give us?
Well, of course, a lot of people have heard about Groupon, and Living Social, where you get discounts on restaurants. And my tip on Groupon, and I use it all the time, is don't buy them right away. Wait till you get emails saying today is on sale and you get 20% off, or you get $10 up to $30 off. So that way you not only get a discount, but you get discounts on discounts. Mm-hmm. And then there's also restaurant.com, which has 18,000 restaurants all over the country. And there you buy a certificate for $25. Well, the certificate is worth $25 of food. Now, usually you only pay $5 for it. But if you wait for their sales, you can get this certificate for $1 or $2, and then you get to go to a place where you might spend $25 and get $50 worth of food. And again, this is good for guys for dates too, because that way you're saving money and still getting to go out and have a great time.
Yeah, I like that. These are for men, they're for women, they're for young people, old people, and let's face it, we all dream of that lifestyle. So this is a great way to do it. And it says here that you have certain rules to live like a millionaire. Can you fill us in on what those rules are?
Okay, well, the very first rule is I say make an ask of yourself.
Okay.
If you ask for things, you will get them. And I'll tell you a couple of examples. One is a little example and something is a bigger example. Just remember when you're shopping to ask about things. For instance, I needed to get a rug cleaned and I called one of these rug cleaning places and they said, it's $100 to get a rug cleaned. Well, I didn't want to spend $100. So I asked, I said, are you going to have any sales soon? And the woman on the phone said, well, actually, we're having a 2-for-1 sale now. Well, the thing is, I didn't have 2 rugs that need to be cleaned, but I had girlfriends, and so I called them up, and I said, do any of you need a rug cleaned? And one of them said, yes. So we both got our rugs cleaned for $50 instead of $100, simply because I asked. Another thing I do, when I go to the store, if there's an item that I saw this fabulous cashmere jacket, but it was like $1,000, which was way more than I could afford. So I asked the woman, is this going on sale? Can you tell me when it is? So she took my number down, and she would call me anytime it went down in price. So she called and she said, oh, it's on sale. It's only $800. I said, well, that's more than I really want to spend now. She said, so she waited another couple weeks and said, oh, it's on sale now for $400. Well, she kept calling me. I ended up getting that jacket for $159. And it was not only because I asked, but also because I made friends. That's another rule. I made friends with the salesperson. But I'll tell you, another thing is a lot of places, Desiree, do price matching now. For instance, if you go to Nordstrom and you see any kind of an item there, be it a dress or shoes or home products, if you see it somewhere else, even on Amazon, for less, they will match prices. The same thing is true of Best Buy or of Staples. So I don't care whether you're getting a computer, for several $1,000s or a toner for $49. Even if it says it's on sale, sometimes their sale prices are still more than where you could get it somewhere else. So whenever I go to Staples or or Best Buy and I want to get something, I'll always say, can you price match it? And I'll look up on my phone, and of course we all have phones these days, and they'll price match it. So because I asked. Here's a funny story. I was at I was taking a trip actually to Puerto Rico before, unfortunately, any of these earthquakes or floods took place. But I was taking a trip, and when I got to the counter at the airlines, the woman said, well, do you want an aisle seat or a window seat? I said, just put me next to somebody, a good-looking guy. She said to me, well, why don't you stand back there, and when you see somebody you like, give me a sign. I said to her, oh, I couldn't do that. So she gave me an aisle seat. So I'm sitting on the aisle, and all of a sudden this really good-looking man comes down the aisle. He puts his luggage up on top of the baggage rack and says, excuse me, and he goes into the window seat. So as the plane is taking off, he said to me, it's the weirdest thing. As soon as I said I wanted a window seat, the woman said, have I got a seat for you? And we ended up talking the whole time. When we got there, he took me to dinner. We spent the whole weekend together. And guess what? It's all because I asked. And, of course, he paid for everything.
Right. Well, it pays not to be shy and just ask for it. That's brilliant advice.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads me into, you've written other books as well. And the Never Kiss a Frog, A Girl's Guide to Creatures from the Dating Swamp, as well as writing for TV. And you were the dating, flirting, and kissing coach on TV's Extreme Makeover. So what can you tell us a little bit more specifically about dating and your other book as well?
Well, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, funny thing is I didn't start as a writer. I have a couple degrees in biology and physiology. Mm-hmm. And then one day I said, I don't want to do this. I want to be a star. And I moved to New York and I sang and I danced and I acted. And then I ended up moving to LA and starting writing. And so when I moved here, I actually wrote for TV and film. And then I got the idea one day for Never Kiss a Frog and wrote that book. So it's been a real journey. And actually, of course, if you're out there dating, hopefully not frogs, but princes, you'll find out too, because they'll take you out in the best way and you'll have a good time. And, as a woman also, if you want to share, experiences, when a guy takes you out and you want to, reciprocate, there's many things that you can do that won't necessarily cost you a fortune, where you can show a guy that you're generous as well. And so it all fits in with the How to Live Like a Millionaire When You're a Million short theme, and also dating and Never Kiss a Frog.
So between writing for TV and dancing and writing books, what else have you got in the hopper, so to speak? What are you working on next?
Well, I did a movie a couple years ago that I wrote and produced called How to Beat a Bully. Mm-hmm. And that is sort of like a Home Alone kind of comedy, but with an anti-bullying theme. And so that was really fun. And I have another movie about a wedding that's actually going to be shot later this year called Cold Feet. So I'm excited about that. And I have a couple of other new books coming out, and I'm doing other movie scripts and trying to get them made. It's being a creative person, you always have to sort of reinvent yourself, and you have a lot of different projects because you never know which is going to pop next. And that's what I always tell people too, is you really have to be open to all the possibilities, because you never know what's coming next, and it could be really good. I mean, the funny thing is, another one of my rules for living like a millionaire by is to be open to the possibilities. I had a girlfriend who always loved going to this place called Canyon Ranch Spa. Mm-hmm. And it was very expensive, though. It was something like $5,000 for 4 days, and I knew I couldn't afford it. But I always kept in my mind, I always remembered, hey, if I ever get the opportunity, I wanted to do that. So I get a call from a girlfriend saying, did I want to be a bachelorette in an auction? And I said, well, sure, I'm open to the possibility. Well, everybody had to provide their own dates. In other words, they had to arrange the date that they would be bid on for. So one person got dinner at a fancy restaurant, and one person got a round of golf at a golf club, and a lunch at the clubhouse. Well, I remembered, Canyon Ranch Spa. So I called them and I said, I'm going to be a bachelorette for the American Lung Association. Would you like to donate, 2 rooms and a stay at Canyon Ranch Spa? And they said, sure. So I not only got to go to Canyon Ranch Spa, I got to go with a handsome stranger who bid on me. And I also got airline tickets donated and a limo donated. And it was a lot of fun.
Oh, my God. So, it sounds like it was a blast.
I was open to the possibility, and B, I kept in my mind something that I wanted. So when the situation arose, I could carpe diem, seize the day, and do it. So those are some of the things also that you want to be open to the possibilities, remember the things that you want, and go out there and have fun.
And you have something else that you wanted to tell us too, right?
I do. I actually have an assignment for everybody who's listening, and it deals with, I have a friend who read one little paragraph in my book, and by following my advice, he ended up getting a check for $12,000, and it didn't cost him anything. And this is what everybody has to do. I want you all to go to missingmoney.com and put in your name and the state you lived in. Or there's some states that aren't in there, so you would go to your the state registrar's office and look under unclaimed property. And if you just put your name and the state that you lived in, and you can also do this with your parents, your grandparents, your brothers and sisters. It's called unclaimed property, and almost everybody has some kind of money sitting there that just belongs to them that they didn't know existed. So it's a good way to just follow up and see if there's money waiting for you. The first time I did it, I had $225 that just was sent in a check to me. Then I did it again, and I had money. I was so excited. I had 22 cents. But I'll bet that about 90% of your listeners probably have money that they didn't know they have that will just get sent to them if they file a form.
Oh, I love it. Once again, the website is?
missingmoney.com.
Marilyn, you are such a high-energy, creative, fun person. I love it. Where can people find you online? Can they follow you on social media? You have a website? And ultimately, let us know where we can find your book, or books, I should say.
Absolutely. My book is How to Live Like a Millionaire When You're a Million Short, and they can find me at howtolivelikeamillionaire.com. The book is also on Amazon. It's in both paperback and Kindle. And I'm on Facebook. They can go to facebook.com/howtolivelikeamillionaire and also find me by my name. And I look forward to being able to share all kinds of exciting opportunities and great places to go and things to do with all your listeners.
Well, Marilyn, you already did. Thank you for sharing all of this. The book is amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's a fast read, too. And it's an absolute delight. Once again, that's How to Live Like a Millionaire When You're a Million Short. It's by Marilyn Anderson. Marilyn, thank you. I enjoyed talking with you today so much.
Oh, it was great. I really enjoyed talking with you, Desiree. Thanks so much for inviting me.
You bet. And I am Desiree Duffy. This has been the Books That Make You show. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And you can find out more on our website. That's booksthatmakeyou.com. And you can also follow us. We are on Facebook and Instagram. You can sign up for our newsletter. We're always giving away lots of bookish goodies and surprises. Until next time, all of my bookish friends, please enjoy the books that make you exactly who you are.
The executive producer for Books That Make You is Desiree Duffy. Produced and sound mastered by Phil Giangrande. Engineering by Dave Nabox. Social media and promotion by Bree Sweeter. For more, visit booksthatmakeyou.com.